Well, I've thought about this a lot, and you know, you can say you go to theme parks, and you guys probably all have your reasons for going to theme parks, assuming you all have been to theme parks, right? You can go to theme parks, I think, for only one reason, and that reason is to make memories with people that they love. And so in order that they can do that, we need to create these environments that will support this activity. And how do you do that? It's through emotions. So how do you evoke people's emotions? And that is through stories. And how do we decide which stories to tell? So when you're making a brand new theme park, you want to have a full range of emotions that appeal to a full range of guests. And the reason that we've selected the stories that we have done is because they are epic stories. I mean that in the sense that they're grand, expansive stories with heroes that can take on supernatural challenges. And so we have done that, and we can connect to people's emotions, whether it is the exhilaration of flying on a meteor and Stardust Racers, whether it's soaring with dragons in How to Train Your Dragon, whether it's confronting monsters, that scare and thrill and fright. So whether it's the giddiness, the exhilaration, or the terror, you have to have this full menu of emotions, which you don't deal with when you're building one experience.
I want to talk Celestial Park.
Yeah, let's do that.
As Steve just told us, Celestial Park is its own IP that you guys have created from scratch.
Yeah, see, that's the thing, is that Celestial Park is a world unto itself. The guiding principle in the storytelling behind Celestial Park was to create a place where we could put the park back into theme park and really build a place that is suited for all of our explorers. And Steve, yeah, it's our park itself is going to be filled with epic heroes and their stories. But really, it's also about the fact that we're putting the storytelling and the questing and all of the work that goes into exploring in your hands. We want the park to play back with you as you play with it. And Celestial Park begins at that first gate with the Chronos, and the Chronos is pulling down all the cosmic energy that allows us to be able to open up all of the worlds, the portals to all of the possible worlds that Epic Universe has. Steve already mentioned Stardust Racers, which is a dual launch racing coaster. Tops out over 60 miles an hour. It's going to be crazy. Yeah, it's going to be so crazy. I'm so excited. And then we've also got Constellation Carousel. So Constellation Carousel is where we're going to be able to ride on the actual constellations. And it's unlike any carousel you've ever been on. To say carousel is kind of disingenuous. It kind of makes it feel small, and it's not. Like anything in Epic Universe, it's massive. And then you've also got things for small children, like Astronomica, which is going to be a really wonderful play space that water will play back with you. Not only that, but there's food, and there's restaurants, and there's bars, and there's a chance for the guests to refuel and recharge before they go out and continue their exploration with all the different worlds. It truly is a world to itself. It's massive. Celestial Park is really, really.
Well,
really
I mean, Patrick mentioned food, and you guys laugh, but I'm telling you, the food here is going to be good.
Oh yeah.
Our chefs have been working on great menus. I've been fortunate to go to the tastings. I'm telling you, it's raising the bar of theme park food.
All I'm going to say is if it's anything like the food at Super Nintendo World Hollywood, like, I can't wait for all of them.
Is too small of a word for what the attraction is. So you enter in through the Metro Flu, which we collaborated with the filmmakers on developing. So you enter through the Metro Flu into the Ministry of Magic Atrium at full scale, full glamour, full glory. Every time I walk into this, in every phase of construction, I've quite literally had tears in my eyes. It is truly spectacularly beautiful. And it's when you enter the atrium that you learn that Dolores Umbridge is standing trials for her crimes. And what's really exciting and what's really exciting about this whole story is that it takes place after the last film. And so we're really building on the entire story that you've come to love and become to love. As you walk through the atrium, though, you get to go and travel all the different offices in the ministry. And one of my favorite rooms, the Hall of Ministers, you actually see ministers from the past all debating each other and talking about Dolores Umbridge and the upcoming trial. The queue is truly breathtaking. I think everyone's just gonna love it. There's gonna be a million Instagram photos, I just know it. And as you exit the queue and start to board the ride, you board a ministry lift. And you take the ministry lift, and like any attraction, something goes wrong. Dolores Umbridge escapes, and you have to work with Ron, Harry, Hermione, and her house help Higgledy, who you meet along the way, to bring her to justice. It is truly a thrilling ride in every sense of the word. I've ridden it, and there's really nothing else like it. It is, I really think, game-changing and incredibly, incredibly fun. So I think everyone's gonna have such a blast on the entire experience.
Steve and Patrick, feel free to chime in on this. What about the world as a whole? Because this isn't just another Hogsmeade or another Diagon Alley. This is a brand new space. It's Paris in the 20s.
So you walk in through the portal from Celestial Park and you get instantly transported into 1920s Wizarding Paris. And you can feel that with just all the different wand magic and the activations throughout the land, along with the music and even the smell of food. It's pretty overwhelming in general. And everything in there has kind of a French twist to it, which is really exciting. But one of my favorite parts as well is our live show, Le Cirque Arcanu. And so we really took inspiration from the Fantastic Beasts films and pulled that into the entire land. That's why it's 1920s Paris. But then you get to go into this giant circus tent and come face to face with all of these fantastic beasts. It's truly a beautiful and heartwarming story, and it's so exciting to see all of the innovation and technology from the team to bring these beasts and creatures to life. I think everyone's gonna have such a blast with the entire show, and it's really, really just stunningly spectacular.
Yeah, and it's a great example of how we have tied two franchises together. So it connects the Fantastic Beasts and the Wizarding World, so you connect them through the Flu Network, which we've created. And so this is a recreation of some of the sets from Fantastic Beasts. And I'm telling you, you guys have been in theme parks, you know what forced perspective is. I think most of you know that, the second floor, the third floor, they get smaller and smaller, and you're like, oh yeah, it looks pretty tall. You walk in here, it is tall. These are full-scale sets. This thing is so impressive, and it just does a beautiful job of connecting. It's just not just Paris. It's not 1920s Jazz Age Paris, but it's populated with beasts. And then you connect to this original story, which we were thrilled to work with Warner Brothers on to connect this story to new stories of what happens to Dolores Umbridge, as Anisha said. So it just, there's all kinds of new stuff here to discover.
I think if you've watched any of the reveal videos for the lands, just to talk about scale for just a second, Susan, I think, was the one who actually brought up the point that if you've been to the Wizarding World of Harry Potter Diagon Alley, Universal Orlando, the buildings that are inside Wizarding Paris, the smallest of those buildings is taller than the biggest building in Diagon.
Yeah.
Wow.
They're massive. You're walking into Paris. It's incredible. Yeah.
Okay, but the real important question, will there be butterbeer?
The French version of it, yes.
That's all I could ever ask.
I mean, the question we ask ourselves is, will they ever let us do this again? Because it's so amazing and spectacular and immersive and technologically advanced.
Now, Greg, we're also witnessing the beginning of the Dark Universe.
We have Wolfman, we have werewolves, they have their own attraction, and we have Phantom of the Opera in there. I'm excited for what you're going to see with them. It's really awesome what we're doing with them. We have Creature of the Black Lagoon. And we have also some cameos that we're not gonna reveal now, but you'll be able to see them in the attraction. So there's a lot more. Oh yeah. But you know, and Dark Universe is awesome because you know it's a brand new land and it's our opportunity to expand you know the Universal legacy. We have all these amazing movies that people watch throughout the years and the people experience these monsters in different ways. So you know we're listening to the guests and we're giving them exactly what they've been asking for, and we're doing it in a way that we can only do in Universal parks. You know we're bringing an experience that is rite of passage. You know we're gonna have experiences for the family, but we're also going to have experiences for people who like to be scared and thrilled and have awesome experiences. So, you know, it starts with, you know, the Frankenstein Manor that you'll see as you go into the world. And, you know, this manor's played the town of Dartmoor for so many years. And, you know, it's been mysterious, but there's a new resident, and that's Victoria Frankenstein. And that's the great-great-granddaughter of Henry Frankenstein. Now, she has a new purpose to show that she will succeed where others have failed, and that's controlling these monsters. Now, there's different experiments that go on throughout the queue and through the attraction, but things go wrong, and Dracula's free. And then Dracula lets loose all the other monsters, and we're caught in between everything that goes on. So we're in this experience, an attraction where all the monsters are let loose and they're unchained. And we're seeing how they interact with each other, how they interact with us, and it is something that has never been done even in a movie. And we can't wait to show you guys how that's done and all the new technology and innovations that we brought to make it come to life.
I want to follow up on that, and with Patrick and Steve, also, if you have something to chime in about this, I feel like for the last several years, we've gotten, Halloween Horror Nights fans in the room? We've gotten some really cool original stories based on the Universal monsters that are only available in the park. So can you tell us a bit more about the story of Dark Universe, like beyond the Frankenstein experience, the story of Dark Universe as a whole, and how it's like obviously we know what a Horror Nights maze is like. How is walking through Dark Universe different than that?
So we're building on the 100-year legacy of monster movies that we have at Universal, which is something we're very proud of, we're very known for. And the challenge story-wise was for us to come up with a place that all these monsters would coexist. And we've created this fictional village of Dartmoor, where Dr. Victoria Frankenstein, as Greg said, has come back to our ancestral home and has collected all these monsters to do her experiments. So it's really all about our story. It's using technology to create thrills. It's going to be family friendly in part of the ride, part of the land, but I'm not sure I would put small kids on Monsters Unchained. It's going to be an intense ride. But Halloween Horror Nights is a whole different experience, and Patrick can tell you that we borrow all kinds of stories that are not part of that legacy.
I think what's going to be really thrilling for me to watch are people's reactions to the Dark Universe. Primarily because, as a monster kid myself, it's something wholly special in that you are watching where the movies went. The land itself could be considered a sequel to the original films. We took everything from the original films and used that as the basis for all of the continued storytelling. So it's thrilling. The ride is thrilling, and the experiences that you're going to get are completely unique for the rest of the worlds inside Epic Universe. But when I say as a monster kid that I'm constantly surprised and taken back by the experiences as one of the people that are on the team walking through the land every time I go, believe it. It's something that people, monster fans have always wanted, and now we finally have a place to call home for the monsters.
That's the one I'm really excited about. And Patrick, I'm actually coming back to you because we're gonna hop into the warp pipe down to Super Nintendo World. I don't know if you guys have been to Super Nintendo World on the West Coast or in Japan. It's very, very cool. This one's bigger. And it's bringing Donkey Kong Country into the
I want to take a a second. As a kid who grew up playing Nintendo and has owned most of the systems, all of them. One of the things that I want to bring up is the amazing partnership between Nintendo and Universal and the creative collaboration that we've had. It's fantastic, and it's global. It's been all over the world. And now we finally have the opportunity to be able to bring Donkey Kong Country and Super Nintendo Nintendo World and Super Mario Land together, the Mushroom Kingdom. And you're going to be able to, as I said earlier, when you play with the park, it plays back. Well, if you've been to any of the other iterations of Nintendo and Universal's collaboration together, you know that happens to be a fact. You get to play with those lands and get to earn certain things and achievements as you make your way through. Donkey Kong Country and Minecart Madness in particular is going to be so much fun. I cannot wait to go on that roller coaster and jump track that isn't there.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys have seen what this ride is like. It's literally like the minecart level from Donkey Kong Country. You're just in a minecart jumping over spaces.
Yeah, it's going to be fantastic.
So, and I believe there's also, there's more rides, correct?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. So you can go on Yoshi's Adventure, which is going to be so much fun. And is wonderful for us in building Epic Universe, in that we wanted a broad range for every guest to be able to come and play. And Yoshi's Adventure is perfect for that. And then of course, you go into Bowser's Challenge and Mario Kart. And yeah, it's so much fun. Being able to go into Bowser's Castle has always been like a bucket list item you don't know you have until you can do it. And then you go through and you're like, oh yeah, okay, check. But yeah, it's so much fun to be able to watch the evolution as one of the people on the team, to watch the evolution of the park come to life. But it's really wonderful to see, obviously, the reception of people and the excitement of wanting to go to the park and experience things like Super Nintendo World.
I'm a firm believer that Universal is paving the way for the interactivity in the parks, and you see it in such a huge way with what Super Nintendo World has been so far. But Epic Universe has this sort of interactivity seemingly baked in throughout it. How important is it for you guys to have this be like?
And with the art direction, when we spoke to the art directors of the films, as that harmony becomes closer, the world becomes more colorful. So we are at peak color saturation, so the choice of color.
And we do talk to Astrid, or we do talk to Hiccup, or we do meet Toothless. There are opportunities inside each of the worlds for guests to be able to have that wish fulfillment and to be able to go to these places that they've only either seen on screen or in other media. And that is something that is truly wonderful for us as creators. We get to be able to provide those wishes. Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna go ahead and add Meet Toothless to we're looking at a map of the park right now, and there seems to be one thing we haven't touched on yet, and that is the giant hotel that seems to be inside of the theme park. See, talk to me about Helios, because this is
Jesus.
You guys like it?
I'll take the suite.
Universal Helios Grand Hotel basically gives you the opportunity to stay either, is it theme park adjacent, or is it more or less inside the park?
Okay, this is the Helios Grand Hotel, a Lowe's hotel, so you know it's a quality hotel. And there are views right inside the theme park. So if you want to know what's happening at the theme park at 3 in the morning, get a room in this hotel. You'll be able to see inside that park. So it's immediately adjacent to the hotel. There's an entrance from the hotel into the park. There's park entrance. We have never done this. There's no park that we have ever done in the United States particularly that has this experience. And so you'll be able to stay in this hotel, and guess what? If you're a fan of How to Train Your Dragon as I am, there are How to Train Your Dragon suites. So you can live, and I'm gonna do this. You can live maybe I shouldn't have said that. But you can live 24/7 in that world. You can go to the world in the day, then you can stay in the suite at night. So there are views inside the room into the hotel, and there are How to Train Your Dragon suites in the hotel. And the theme of the park, Celestial Park in particular, is extended into this. So Helios, and it has astrological and celestial and heavenly thematic elements. So we have looked at all kinds of things in our research, the Hubble telescope photos, the maps of the solar system, all of these things, you'll find elements, the spheres, of the planet's orbits, all of these elements, we have researched these extensively, and they will show up as elements in there. So it's not just an ornate hotel, it carries that theme of Celestial Park, and why celestial? Because that's the greatest frontier. That's about exploration. And the idea of Epic Universe is to go to worlds beyond which have never been seen, where nobody's ever been. And what better theme than heaven to do that?
I love the fact that the storytelling continues on into your room at night.
It never ends.
I've got questions. I'm very curious, and you know what? I'm gonna start with you, Anisha. What is everything that's going on? Obviously, you're very sentimental for what's going on in the Ministry of Magic area. What's the one thing you personally can't wait to ride on opening day or do on opening day? And then what do you think is the thing that everyone else is going to be very stoked to do on opening day?
So the thing that I'm very personally excited for is actually to walk through every single land's portals. Every single land, not just the Wizarding World of Harry Potter and the Ministry of Magic, it is architecturally stunning. You go through a portal and you enter into an entirely different world, and that vista and view, I mean, if you can imagine, you're walking through, you have the score, you have the smells, you have the people, it is really, really incredible. Just right now, even though we aren't even fully completed, getting to experience that moment is really fun, and I can't wait to do it with all my friends and family with me and get to enjoy everyone's hard work. I think everyone's gonna just love that experience. And then selfishly, I've loved standing in the exit queue of every single ride that I've opened. Seeing the reactions from guests on opening day is quite literally the best thing. Social media hasn't ruined it, no one knows what to experience, and you get to see genuine response and genuine emotion. And so when people get off the Battle at the Ministry, I mean, that ride I truly believe will be a game changer for the entire industry. It will redefine, in my mind, what immersion really is. It's so fun, and I can't wait to see everyone's reactions, because I think everyone's gonna not even really know what they just experienced, and I can't wait to see what that look is on everyone going through the ride.